you're using it for miniatures, spectacular colours, can't really go wrong. Hello, this is BJ from Hearns Hobbies, and today I'll be introducing the Scale 75 Metal and Alchemy Acrylic Metallics. Now, these are not a totally new item, but they are quite a game changer in metallic paints, simply because metallic paints, to get the best ones, they tend to have to be either oil-based or in lacquer form. And the acrylic varieties that have been around for a long time have always been quite chunky, with very large flecks in them. But these particular types, like this one here, are really smooth, and the fleck is incredibly fine. So I've got 5 colors here, which I'm going to show you. They do have a much larger range, but this will give you a good idea of what they're going to look like. So over here I've got a piece that I've primed. Now I've selected this piece because it does have quite a few different layers here, because I'll show you how it dry brushes on and the effect it gives there. And then there's some larger areas where you can see what a large area of brush painted metallic is going to look like. All right, so let's start with this one here. So this is old copper. Let's pop it over here. All right, there's old copper. And then I've got dwarven gold. Oh mate, the dwarves know all about their gold, so must be a really nice one. So it's quite a warm tone. Over here we've got the tourmaline alchemy. So it's got a stony pink look. It's quite nice, sort of like a rose finish. Then we have speed metal. So this is a silver base. It's like a very light silver. It's almost like a platinum type finish. And then we've got, what's this one? Kunzite alchemy. Okay, so another quite colourful one. It's got a little bit of a purpley pink tone to it. Okay, so before I start showing you these, I'm just going to prepare this as a base. Now usually with metallics, they tend to come up better on a black base. Now that's simply because metallics with their flecks reflect back the little bits of sheen from the metallic flecks, and to easily see those in contrast, black works the best. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this, so I'll black base some of it and I'll leave some as is, and I'll show you how the appearance looks different, and then I'll show you how this stuff works really well with dry brushing as well for details. Okay, so let's get our black happening first. So I've got a bit of black on this side. So let's just quickly, let's see, let's black base this part here, I guess. Just going to cover up all the nooks and crannies, including all the crevices, because basically it's the crevices which are going to act with the most shadow. And remembering that black is the ultimate shadow tone. This is the area where no light will penetrate. Alright, so let's have a look. Alright, so it's black based, as you can see, with a black background here. It's very difficult to tell where it is. But that's where it's going to be easier to demonstrate to you as well, because it's going to be a lot easier when I start dry brushing that part. Alright, so let's just let that, let's just do a bit more there. Alright, let's let it dry off a bit. Actually, I don't think I've penetrated in there properly. Alright, let's just move my goggles out of the way there. Okay, so while it's drying, let's apply some of this paint onto some of these other parts here. Alright, so let's go with this coppery colour here. This is quite a brown copper. And I'll just paint this here. So you can already see how fine it's applied. Okay, that's just one coat. Now usually with these sort of paints in acrylics, you find they'll be really, I don't know, one of the words I guess would be wishy-washy. They tend to move around and you'll see metal flecks floating around. But you see how well incorporated all these flecks are, just in that section there. And let's try a different color again. We've got this dwarven gold. Let's do that across here, eh? Let's just pick a spot and let's do this here. And bearing in mind, this is only the first coat. So usually you'll be doing multiple coats. Okay, so there's your dwarven gold. We'll go on to this one, which is, what was this? This is tourmaline, I think. There's a nice sort of rosy gold. Do that across here. Got our little silver. So silver we'll do across here. It's super fine. It's really quite impressive at how they've been able to get their pigment like this. And then our final one is the sort of purpley pink one, which is the kunzite. And I might just apply some of that here. Okay, so those are the basic colors applied. This is only one coat, so let me just show you again. I'll just go over everything with another coat. This copper is pretty much dry already. We'll just reinforce the depth of it with another coat. You can see how easy it is to brush too, because traditionally metallics tend to like to separate, even with the good enamel ones. You'll see how this is all holding together very, very well. There's a dwarven gold. Tourmaline. I think my big brush has just gone over some of that silver, but that's all right. All right, we'll get our silver. And then finally, we've got this kunzite. Okay, so that's all your different colors there applied. Now bear in mind that this was on the lighter tone. Okay, I was still waiting for the black to dry off. So there's a black dried off. And just let you see. Let me just show you this one here. This is tourmaline on the black. Okay, so you can see how this picked out already. So that's one of the advantages of metallic as well. It covers black easily. It's still showing through though, so it's going to need probably 3 coats in total before it gives a good coverage. So let's just do another color elsewhere. So I'll do every color again on this part, just so you can get an idea of how it's going to appear on a black base. Now black base is the preferred because it gives that really nice contrasting shadow around it. Right, let's get the dwarven gold. The silver. Do a touch of silver over here, I think. Oh, actually, let's do this. And then we finish that off with this kunzite over here. Got that ever so subtle purple tone in it. Okay, so you can see the black base, how everything just picks out really quickly. And that's only the first coat too. So as I'm applying the final coat now, oh sorry, the second coat, and I'll do a third coat as well, they're just going to pop. Okay, so it's a silver. That's copper. Dwarven gold. This is a tourmaline. And the kunzite. Alright, so you can see how they've all picked out. Now while they're drying, and before I put on the third coat, let me just show you what dry brushing is going to look like with the silver. I'll use a silver because that's the greatest contrast with the black, but basically you can dry brush with any of these, and I'll do it across these ribs here, so it'll be a lot easier to see. Okay, so that's dry brushing across those ribs, so start to pick out quite quickly. Okay, now that probably gives you the best indication on why we generally use a black base. So you can see how they've come out. Probably had a bit too much paint there because it sort of rubbed off the bottom here. But these high crevices is where you want to dry brush and get that highlight. So let's just quickly give the third coat to everything. So copper. The gold. So you can see now with the third coat, they're really popping. Okay, so there you go. So this is the paints that I've applied onto the white primer. And then over here, you can see how I black based it and then applied it over the black. So there's not a great amount of difference. The tonal variety is a little bit different. You do use a little bit more paint over the black base, but with the black in the background and the surrounding, it actually makes this pop quite a lot more. Now what I'm going to do here is let's just Sort of overdid it a bit on these ends here, so I'm just applying the black. Oops, not too much there. All right, and then let's just finalize this up with a little bit more silver. It's dry brushed over here. There you go. So there you go. So this is my small demonstration of the Scale 75 metal and alchemy paints. So this is just a small variety of the colors they have, but this is what they can achieve. And you can see just how quickly you get a really nice smooth metallic finish with very little effort. So this side here, this is a white base, and over here, this is a black base. And then you see those three ribs there. That's where it's just the silver that's been dry brushed across the top. Really quite spectacular colors. So I'm quite impressed with these, and I'm sure you will be too when you get to work with them. So Scale 75, they concentrate their range very much for the miniature figure painter, but these paints can be used for any type of subject that you like. So it can be automotive. Quite often you use these sort of tones in motorcycles as well. But if you're using it for miniatures, see that? You can't really go wrong. Spectacular colors. And as you can see, so easy to use, and being acrylics, very low odor. And they dry fairly quickly too. So these were the Scale 75 Metal and Alchemy metallic acrylic paints by Scale 75. So again, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed that demonstration.